Hi, I'm Kate, founder of McCarthy Recruitment.
Hi, I'm Jen, newly back at McCarthy Recruitment. So nice to be back, Kate. Nice to see you again.
No, 100%. It's weird. Well, good weird.
It is good weird. It's like sort of coming home in a new way.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
We're at 20 years. Tell everybody what it was like when we started. So you were kind of number 2 employee. What was it like back then?
It was new and it was innovative and it was fresh, and it still seems to be the same. I was a retail manager looking for a retail job, and you rang me up and said, come in and have a chat. I wasn't expecting to be offered a job in recruitment. It was a challenge. It was a big change from what I felt comfortable in. But because we were recruiting for retail roles, I understood quite quickly what good looked like. Kate was on hand constantly. I sat next to Kate and opposite Kate for like the first 5 years, I think. Learned a lot, set up our values, set everything up really. I mean,
it's like who we are.
We were in a little tiny office, but that sort of team feel, that family feel was there right from day one.
So 20 years on, which is mad when you think about it. Like, we were a lot older, aren't we? We should be
Just
like a before and after picture of like what we are now and what we are. Do you think we've still got those values? Do you think it still feels the same?
Absolutely. Obviously, I'm returning to the business, or I've returned to the business. When I started looking for something new, I wrote a list of things that I was looking for, and I just kept coming back to people, values, that one team ethic. And after keeping going through it and looking at it and looking at other businesses, I just had to ring you and say, that's the only place I'm going to get that, Kate, and I need to come back and work for you. And that's honest, and that's not me. Can I say bullshit?
Yeah.
When you walk into the office, there's a wall of pictures, and I'm there, all those moments, and it was like coming home for the first time again. I'm going to get all emotional, because that one team value is still here, and it's not a company that drags its values out once a year for performance management. It's a company and a team that live those values every day, and that comes from Kate, you.
Thanks, Jen. For context, Jen rang me when you were looking at potential redundancy, and I set you off to do a load of work, as in what I would do with a load of people that I was coaching on who've been made redundant or candidates, and then you rang me back like a week later and went, well, I've done all this work and all the signposts are you, but I wasn't expecting that at all. And then for me as well, if any of you seen a post on LinkedIn that talks about remote working, I gave Jenny as an example as the first remote working person I did. So why don't you explain what happened there?
So yeah, I worked for Kate for 12 years, and I got to a point in my life, I just got married and I was having a baby. And my husband had lost his job. Yeah, we hit a crisis point over one weekend where we sort of sat as a family and said, oh my God, we need to change something. And I really didn't want to bring my children up in the city environment where we were. So we took the decision to move to Cornwall because my husband was offered a job there, and I was frightened stiff of telling Kate, because I really didn't want to leave. I didn't know what I was going to do next, and I thought, I'm never going to find a job in Cornwall. I'm going to have to go and work back in a supermarket. And I rang Kate, and Kate was in Dubai at the time on holiday.
I don't even remember that. That's so funny.
And I was like, I can't tell her while she's away and ruin her holiday. So when she came back, I went in and said I was pregnant, was the first bomb that came out, and then that I need to leave. And she said, well, why do you need to leave? And why don't you just try working from home, and why don't we give it a go? And my daughter's just turned 17, so there's not many people I speak to that say they've worked from home for that length of time or back in that day, because there's a lot of trust involved. But when you work in a business like this that's really fast-paced, target-driven, you can't hide away from that. You can't sit and watch TV, or take an extended lunch break, because, the onus is on you to deliver. And when you're a client manager as well, which I was, you need to deliver for your clients, and you've got a level of commitment. So Kate put a lot of trust in me at that point.
And it was strange,
wasn't a normal thing.
There was no technology. So like everyone talks about it now. We were using Skype, which we used to fall off.
They used to put me on a big screen in meetings.
Yeah, and like doing that was just really difficult. Whereas actually now, the world's changed. But I am quite proud that we were already doing that a million years ago when no one had ever heard of it. And I've been quite vocal on LinkedIn recently about, remote work. I want people back in the office. But I also said it depends on circumstances and on the situation. I think this is a really good example of actually saying to somebody, well, what do you want to do and how can you do it? And actually Jen was quite challenging of me as well to say, well, look, I've just managed a team of 8 remotely. I can do it, Kate. Let me prove to you that I can do it. And I was like, well, you know, what have I got to lose here? I've got somebody with loads of experience, somebody that was trained by me, somebody that's still really passionate about the business. In a sense, that's a gift for me. So like, you know, like you're emotional, but for me, it's like, oh my God, it's like somebody gives me a really comfortable dynamic pair of slippers back, because you're not
going to say, don't call me a
no, I know,
person.
but that kind of, that feeling of we know each other, there's implicit
trust. It's trust.
Yeah,
that's
and
what it is.
You care about the business in the same way that you did, and you've got all of that, and that's actually really special. For me, it's a really special moment, and when somebody that comes back to you and says, actually, I've looked at everything and actually just want to come back and work for you, that's a massive moment for me. It's if I go back in the 20 years and look at what are those moments, what are those things, and God, we've had a laugh, and I mean, God, when we go back and we go down memory lane, it's hilarious, but that will be one of those pivotal moments where you said, Kate, I've actually looked at it and I want to come back, because actually for me, that's massive. That's the whole purpose of starting the business in the first place.
And the fact that, you know, the values might change slightly, but the values are still there, and some of the values that we put together on team builds and stuff are still the same. And you know, I know that they'll get reviewed again and we'll talk about them, but the fact that is still happening, and I know there's been, you know, periods of time where leadership of the business has changed, and Kate's now back in that driving seat, and that is a big attraction. And the people that are here now, the team are really gelled, and they all seem really warm and welcoming. Yeah, it's definitely the same business, the same drive, the same passion, and that same one team feel.
I can't wait for you to really see that impact of what you can bring to the team. The team are super excited as well. So yeah, amazing.
Thank you.